Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for a chest and tricep day. So we started off with flat bench, and I think what I'm going to do a little bit with the benching, I think for a moment I don't even need to focus on really heavy top sets. I want to focus on just hypertrophy. Now that means I'm still going to be relatively heavy. So today I did it all bodybuilder benching. We went real wide grip, very soft touch and go. And because at this point I feel like if I'm not going to set a big bench, I don't even have to pause. I'm not trying to do a big power bench, and it's still going to build my bench up, right? Still going to build my bench up. But as I continue to get leaner, continue to work on the physique, I do want the benching to be very hypertrophy oriented, but we're still heavy enough that we're getting some neural drive carryover. So notice we did this flat back. I took the grip just a hair wider than my strongest powerlifting grip so that we could have the most possible tension. So notice my forearm position, right? Wrist stacked, very soft touch and go so that we maintain tension on the chest all the way through, and just ended up doing 3 sets of 6 with 275. Again, really happy with how it felt. Felt like I got a very large amount of chest activation. And as I've assessed stuff, I've had nice vacation, had time to assess everything I'm doing with my training, get my head straight. It's like I said last week, I don't think trying to push arms dominant on my torso movement is the way to go. Let's just continue to get big, and then we'll come in and do more high quality work for the arms. Okay, so I want to be clear on that. I do feel like I need more upper chest. Arms do need to be a very high priority, things like arms, rear delts, as we get leaner, as we continue to get the waistline tighter. So that being said, I just need to have more quality arm work thrown in on top of all this. So my triceps are going to get hit on both days where I do any pressing. So it's going to be on the chest day and the shoulder day. Why? Because we're going to overhead press. So I kind of did the same thing here with the incline. Now, again, because I did some incline work and stuff this weekend. Again, I did some extra sessions. I am not going to put those sessions up. I've decided, even though I did do some training at a public gym, I'm not going to put it up. Not on here. I'm going to keep all of it. Might come put it up later on. But we did some incline work here. So on this, I decided to, again, the same thing. Let's take the incline real wide, just take these sets real close to failure, just work with 225. So I think what I want to do, just focus on bodybuilder quality reps on this stuff, work on just progressive overload as best I can while cutting. I feel like working with 275 on the flat bench, 225 on the incline, as long as we're doing it wide, doing it controlled, the sets are very close to failure. We should be in a good place. So the same thing right around 6s, and I want to build these up. I want to continue to build these up. And then I know at any time, you guys know, I can walk in and hit a bigger bench based on this stuff. Basically a week or so of just preparing for it. So again, it will keep my bench moving along. Keep my bench moving along in a good place. So again, hypertrophy. Okay. And I think any of the really heavy stuff I do needs to be just with squatting and deadlifting. Because again, as long as my upper body keeps getting more stacked, my bench will go up. So after that, chest is kind of fatigued because we didn't take real long breaks here. Went ahead and went with incline dumbbells. So again, I want to double down on the upper chest development. I feel like my lower chest will get enough from just flat benching, especially with that wide grip. So, and again, keep in mind, incline does build lower chest. People sometimes get these things mixed up to where, oh, it's not going to, of course it'll build it. Incline does build your old chest. It's just a more bias towards the upper chest, which again, I want to continue to just stack just in general. It's one of those areas that you really can't have an upper chest that is too well developed in terms of aesthetics. So again, on all of this though, also I want to make sure that arms. So we doing everything as presses at this point, right? Doing all presses. Took these sets pretty much to failure, right? Took them to failure, got to a rep, and then just kind of sticks at the bottom. So again, these were in the 10 plus rep range for the most part, up around 10 or 11. It's a point with this where I lose count. I'm just focused on the burn, and I know I'm roughly there on the reps. So again, we're in a good spot. And the same thing, I feel like as long as I can increase workload using these weights, these are good working weights for me. So the main thing is trying to push them while doing it all bodybuilder style. getting quality reps in to see if we can go ahead and just progress and gain reps, but taking these sets, pretty much to their limits, going to be the way to go on this. So again, just keep hammering, building the chest, building the upper chest. All right. And then after that, of course, then we focus on triceps. Now, triceps are going to get hit 2 different days every week. And for me, pullovers hit triceps really hard. And on the shoulder day, I'm going to end up doing a little more tricep isolation than on chest day because I do need it to be recovered. So again, we do it here, and then I do that 2 days later. And then so the extra tricep volume beyond that will be done on that shoulder day. But then that gives me 5 days to recover before I have to press again. But again, I want to be clear, my training is gonna push triceps extremely hard as a high priority moving forward. We just need more arm growth in general. Triceps are the bigger part of the arm, because if my arms get bigger as I get leaner, as the waistline tightens up, that's going to continue to improve my physique. So on these, grab the same normal working weights I like to use, took them to failure. I got like 15 and then whatever. I think I only got maybe 13 or so on the last set. But again, did these sets to failure. And by doing them as sets to failure, we know that we got stimulus. Plus, keeping in mind, we did all that pressing first. So we did 9 sets of big compound movements for pressing, all for reps, all for volume. Again, about that 6 to 11 rep range. And then these, again, we come in and we just pump, while focusing on getting that deep stretch, because this is a long head exercise. Keeping in mind, pressing tends to hit the lateral head a lot more. So we're going to come in, we're going to work the long head, through, again, these stretch position movements. And I really like the dumbbells for this because I feel them a lot there. I feel these a lot, so I enjoy doing those for this. So it's going to be a staple exercise for me. It's going to be a staple exercise. Plus, it's really easy on my tendons and everything. But yeah, I almost feel like I got a little leaner. Since we were on camera last year. So we're in a good spot. And then I want to finish up with pullovers. Pullovers, I think what I want to do, because I implemented them back in last week, going to continue kind of what I've always done, right? What I've always done, and that's just really, really push these for reps. I want to focus on that stretch. Focus on the stretch, and I'll see if I can progressively overload this from here. But the issue is, because I do it with plates, is getting enough weight in my hands. So again, I may take the volume up further on this, or I may increase weight. But the main thing is I do want to see some progression here, but I also want to get that range of motion, because I want to get my shoulder health and shoulder range of motion back on point. It'll really help with my overhead pressing. It'll help with my other stuff. And this is an exercise that has been so pivotal for me to do that. I couldn't even do pull-ups before until I rehabbed my shoulders, and this helped. And so now I want to continue to use this exercise for that. Plus, for me, I feel my triceps tremendously on pullovers. Okay, I feel them tremendously on pullovers. So again, if we're going to double down, we want triceps to grow. It's a great exercise for me, and I think me walking back to the camera there shows where I'm at in terms of my physique coming along, physique improvements. Overall, been pretty happy with that. I feel like it's doing really, really, really well. So I'm just going to keep pushing forward, keep improving the physique. Getting a lot of compliments these days. I tend to be very, very hard on myself with this stuff. Normally I haven't been historically over physique stuff because I haven't cared as much, but now that it is a focus, particularly for my business, again, outreach, people care about this stuff. I'm going to be very hard on myself. I'm going to be way more critical than anyone else can be about it. So, again, knowing where I'm at, knowing what I need to just continue to refine, we're going to do that. And really, for me, though, it's going to be arms, right? I mean, obviously, more upper chest is always good. I don't care what your goal is, but arms, and it's not fixed genetic weak links. It's because I neglected arms too much from all the powerlifting. Now we're going to play catch up. Get the arms just as big as I possibly can as I get leaner, and then we'll be money. So again, pullovers, again, just a great overall physique enhancing exercise. We're getting real old school with some of this, right? A lot of these movements are very old school, but that's what we're seeking. We're looking for that golden era bodybuilder look. That is what I'm trying to achieve, and I feel like I'm starting to get there. So we're going to keep hammering away at it. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.